and welcome to our 1-year anniversary of Rec on Record. We're bringing you the latest and greatest from the City of Fort Collins Recreation Department and the Fort Collins Senior Center. We appreciate you, our viewers, whether you're in our live studio audience or if you're tuning in to FCTV. We have a great show for you today, and without further ado, let me introduce to you the host of our show, Mr. Jason Chaddock.
Thank you everyone for being here, and also those watching us live on Facebook and joining in on FCTV. We appreciate you all tuning in, learning more about what we have going on recreationally here. One thing I'm really excited, as Ashley mentioned, this is our 1-year anniversary of the show. It's been a great year. For each of these months, we've been able to bring you new information about recreation programs, activities, different events that we have going on, and telling you more about the city and what we offer here in the city, letting you get to know different staff members. It's been a great experience. We're really excited about the information we've brought to the table and the things we've been able to learn from each of you in asking us more questions about our operations and what we have going on within the city. With that, we're also really looking to expand what we do and to look at new avenues in which to get the community engaged into what we're doing and be able to share our information. So I want to announce to everyone that this is going to be the final episode of Rec on Record in this particular format. However, we're really fired up about the new way we're going to do things. We're looking to move to a quarterly format, which will actually start on January 25th at our annual meeting. This will give us a chance once a quarter to be engaged with all the guests of our facility and community members and be able to talk, learn more, have an open forum, be able to have a lot more Q&A opportunities, and be able to have different groups within our senior center come in and talk about what it is they do and what it is they're looking for in new members to join their groups. So this is a great opportunity for us to expand what we're doing, look at new ways to get engaged with the community. So again, with that, our 1-year anniversary, our saying farewell to Rec on Record and moving on to our new opportunities that have presented themselves. So a lot going on. We're really excited about that. We have a couple great guests today. They're going to kick us off for our final show and help us learn more about parks and Old Town, and then also with education and programming here at the Senior Center. But before we get to the interview part of today's show, one of the things that I want to cover that's really important, our new Recreator has just come out. Really exciting time for us here within Recreation. We have our winter programming going, and it's really important to get signed up as soon as you can. Classes fill fast. That is the biggest thing I want to tell everybody. Classes fill fast. Yes, I'm repeating this again and again. Classes fill fast. Please get a Recreator. Please get in and get signed up for the classes that you may be interested in. Whether you're looking for arts, crafts, education, sports programs, events, or activities, make sure that you tune in. Keep engaged with us, both online and through our Recreator, and you'll be able to find the classes you're looking for. Early registration for Senior Center members will begin on Halloween, October 31st. Immediately followed on that Thursday, on November 2nd, we will have the opportunity for all people to come in and register at that time. So registration will be open to everyone at that point. Again, I can't stress enough, don't miss your opportunity to take a program, take a trip, go on a hike somewhere, go skiing, enjoy the winter activities here in Colorado. Get signed up through the Recreator and come in and join us for these activities. We look forward to seeing you there. Now I want to kind of take a trip down some of what we have going on here within the facility. Some of the items we've talked about over the course of time have been developing this Hall of Fame we've talked about. I do want to highlight that one of our recreation coordinators, Steve Diedemann, has done a great job of putting together information and ideas to be able to really tell our story here within the Senior Center and be able to get our guests more engaged with our history of where we are, where we've come from, and kind of where we're going. With that, in the front entrance, once you walk through the vestibule, you'll look to the right. You'll actually see an awards case. Within this awards case, you're going to start seeing some of the awards we've accomplished over the years. And we're really excited about this to be able to showcase the great opportunities that we've provided programming-wise and facility-wise. And now to highlight that this is an award-winning facility, you'll see our 2016 accreditation award that we received. That'll be in there along with previous awards that we had received for national accreditation. Be sure to check this out once you walk into the facility. Gives you a great chance to learn more about our history. So with that, One of the other things I want to highlight that Steve's also put together for us is the Don Vogel One-Man Art Show, which is currently in our hallway here if you proceed to the north wing of the building. Throughout this month and also extending into November 15th, you'll be able to see all of the art exhibit. And I do want to stress that this art exhibit is not just to highlight the art that one individual has done. These art pieces are also available for purchase, so please be sure to talk to the front desk and learn more about what opportunities you have to purchase some of the art that's available. A great chance for you to get out, see some new interesting artwork, and then if you're interested, be sure to make those purchases on the artwork that's available to you. Lastly, as far as the facility update goes, I'm really excited to talk about Sue Schaefer, who has joined us. She is our new education coordinator. You're going to get to hear from her in a little bit. We'll have her on the show for an interview, and you'll be able to learn a little bit more about who she is, what she's done, and what she's going to be doing here. But for us, this was a big venture to hire an education coordinator to be able to take part in programming here and help us further extend our operations. Exciting time for us here in recreation. We look forward to a big, bright future. And with this being the last time we're doing Rec on Record, I wanted to really kind of take some time to highlight some various groups that have been so instrumental to us, not just within recreation, but particularly here at the Senior Center. One of the ones I want to highlight initially is going to be our Senior Center Council. I want to thank them for their participation over the years. Once I came here about 1.5 years ago as a new recreation area manager, they were welcoming to me, got to know me, told me about the things they enjoyed from our facility, things they felt we could improve on from our facility, and then also being able to be such great contributors to the events that we do here at the Senior Center and being able to help aid in those. And I know they help Ashley all the time, and Ashley gets to sit in those meetings each month. And I just want to thank them for their contributions to the Senior Center and the continued progression and the support that they've given us as far as developing new programs and activities, but also the support they've showed in ways in which we can become more engaged with the community and giving us some of these ideas as far as having a social engagement session, having a quarterly type forum. We just want to thank them for their contributions to that. I also want to take a minute to recognize the Senior Advisory Board. Katie Stieber, our Recreation Supervisor, has been working with them for many years. They are huge advocates for us here at the Senior Center, working on affordable senior housing, senior transportation, and then giving us a lot of good feedback as far as facilities and what our seniors in the community are looking for. So we're very grateful to them and also their ability to highlight our Senior Center and what we are able to bring to the table and help us improve with what they're seeing from other areas such as Larimer County and other districts, and being able to really help us expand our operations. So special thanks to them. I also really want to thank our Parks and Rec Board. We've done so many things with them in the 1.5 years that I've been here, whether it's recreation policies or whether it's looking at new procedures. They've been instrumental in the development of our operations here, and I want to thank them for their time and effort and energy. And also, we had one of the members, Dawn, of Parks and Rec Board, who recently wrote an article for us about Club Tico and was able to highlight that and kind of what Club Tico has meant to this community. And then obviously everybody knows Club Tico has changed a lot over the years, and she was really able to highlight and touch base on these changes over the last 100+ years that Club Tico has endured. It's just a great opportunity for us to tell our story of that facility. So be sure to tune into that article and learn more about Club Tico and continue to grow with us as a community. And then lastly, I want to thank all the volunteers we have here at the Senior Center, whether they're working in the library, whether they're at the front desk, helping out in various areas of the facility. They're so instrumental to what we do, and I can't thank them enough for all the service that they provide here for us, both as guests of the facility and as staff members, whether they're helping out at special events, whether they're checking people in at the front desk. The work they do is key to what our operation is, and I just want to express my sincere thank you for the production that you've been able to give to us and the way you're able to provide resources to us that we would not have without your support. So special thanks to all of our volunteers that contribute to the Senior Center. And with that, I'm going to pass the floor back to Ashley so she can talk to you about all the amazing events we have going on over the next several months.
Thank you, Jason, for that manager's message. Okay, who's ready to talk special events?
Me.
Okay, so we have a really, really exciting fall and winter in recreation and here at the Senior Center. We have a little too much fun, but I just want to tell you guys everything that we have to offer as far as large events. First one, Treatsylvania at the farm. If you haven't been, it's one of the cutest things that we do. I just got my tickets for it for my kids actually this week. So make sure that you purchase tickets. It's just $5 a child and parents are free. So all you have to worry about is paying for your kid. So there's definitely a bunch of different tickets that are for sale. You do have to get them in person at the Farm Epic Foothills Activity Center or Northside Ozatlan Center. So make sure you go and pick up your tickets. In between this event, and if you look in the little bottom right corner, Bow Wowvania, which is for all the pooches out there, that is on Saturday, October 28th from 12 to 1, and you can get tickets for that as well. Pretty cute event. A little parade of dogs. On Saturday, October 28th, we have Hogwarts Halloween. This is a favorite for any Harry Potter fan, so make sure that you look into this one. It's $15 per child, and you can register online for this one if you would like. And this is also at Northside Ozatlan Center. Veterans Day Breakfast. This is a big one. We have about 350 people that usually come to this event. This is here at the Fort Collins Senior Center. It's an amazing event, heartwarming. It's for veterans and their families, or if anybody that wants to come and just support. Saturday, November 11th on Veterans Day, and that's from 7 to 10 a.m. And we have a wonderful breakfast. It's just a really great program. We're going to do the posting of the colors at 8 o'clock, and just come and hang out with us. The huge artisan event of the season is the Holiday Artisan Market. It's free to come in, so feel free to come whenever you'd like. Anytime November 24th or 25th from 10 to 4. We have over 100 artists that are here, and you can get tons of gifts for people, free admission, bring your friends. And another great one in winter is our soap troupe, slightly older adult players. Now, you might remember that they did this last winter, and then they do one in the spring as well. But the winter one fills up, so make sure to get your tickets. They do 3 shows, Friday, December 1st. They do a 1:30 and a 7 p.m. and a Saturday, December 2nd at 2 p.m. Tickets are only $5, so make sure to get your tickets. They will go on sale on registration day, so that's on Halloween. You can get your tickets. And we have a pool tournament also, if you're into billiards, and that's going to be on December 2nd, and that's from 10 to 3. We have a great group in the billiards room, and they're really fun to play with. So if you're interested in that, we have prizes for the top 3. And with that, now we're going to turn to our staff highlight. I'm going to welcome back up Jason and our brand new education coordinator, Sue Schaefer. Please give her a round of applause.
Welcome, Sue.
Glad to be here.
So I have to pause because now I just realized I made a mistake earlier. I forgot to highlight our new recreator that Kate walked over to get for me, and I forgot to hold up. So this is a copy of our new recreator, just so everyone can see that. My apologies, and thank you, Kate, for getting that for me, even though I'm slacking today and forgot. So a lot going on in recreation lately. We're always excited about expansion and developing of programs, and today we have Sue joining us. Sue, I want to take a couple minutes just to ask you some different questions about what we have going on, kind of your role here, and to get us started, tell us about your education, a little bit about your experience, and what led you here to Fort Collins in the recreation department now?
All right. Well, I'm really excited to be here. I have been in the field of environmental education for the last 20 years. I grew up in Michigan, spending a lot of time outside. We have some other Michigan fans here. I grew up riding horses and camping and just playing by the water. And so I wanted to find a career that would let me do that, honestly. And so I got into the field of, my degree is in wildlife biology, and I went to a field school and got a naturalist certificate. So I do have some education there, but I got my first job out of college in Littleton at a place called South Platte Park, which is part of South Suburban Parks and Rec. From there, I went to the Denver Botanic Gardens, worked at Chatfield Nature Area. Then I went to a little tiny wildlife refuge in Denver called Bluff Lake Nature Center, and I was there for 9 years. And after that, I was looking for what else I could do. And to be honest, I hadn't spent much time in Fort Collins, and I was just looking for another job in natural resources. So I got my job with the Natural Areas Department, and that's why I came up to Fort Collins. My family and I moved up here in 2007, and I'm coming up on my 10-year anniversary with the city. And I was the Education and Volunteer Coordinator with the Natural Areas Department. I have a passion for getting people outside in any way, shape, or form. And now I get an opportunity to try that through recreation, and I'm really excited about it.
That's awesome. We're really excited to have you here. And I do have to say, since I'm being outnumbered by Michigan people here, I am from Ohio. So with your natural areas, tell us a little bit more about your previous role there and what you did.
Okay. So I spent the last 10 years working as the Education and Volunteer Coordinator. What I did was I coordinated all of the school field trips and worked within the school system to get kids outside using the state standards for science so that teachers could use the field trips as a way to meet those standards. So it was very structured, and we used volunteers to teach the program. So we would take kids out on field trips, and it was just a blast using volunteers to teach those programs. So because we were so closely tied with volunteers, my position also managed the volunteer program. And I helped grow that program over the years to the point where we now have about 1,800 volunteers that work with the Natural Areas Department.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot. So transitioning now from your natural areas role to here in recreation, tell us a little bit about your role that's going to take place here in recreation.
Well, first of all, I'm really excited about all the classes that are existing. I'm getting ready to plug things in for the spring, and I've already talked to lots of the instructors, so there's a lot of fun classes coming up. But I'm also looking for new ways to get adults and seniors outside. And so I'm going to be walking around and asking people questions about what they'd like to see as far as outdoor recreation is concerned. But I have a lot of ideas in the works, and I'm really excited about hiking programs, biking, maybe some botany and birding, any sort of programs that'll get people out and active. So if anybody has any ideas, I'm more than willing to hear them.
Awesome. So tell us a little bit more about what you're most looking forward to as you embark on this new journey.
I think what I'm most looking forward to is really finding new ways for city departments to partner. What I've learned with the city in my time here is that often departments end up getting siloed and really working independently. But what I love about recreation and sort of the new horizon is finding ways for departments to partner, to leverage resources, and to build on each other's strengths. And I think that's what the city's all about moving forward, and I'm excited to be a part of that.
Awesome. So speaking about being excited, what excites you most about working for the city of Fort Collins? You've been here 10 years. What keeps you here? What keeps you growing?
Well, this city is beautiful. I had no idea when I moved here. I moved into one of the coolest neighborhoods in town. I didn't even know. The school systems are awesome. But I think what makes Fort Collins really, really special is the access to the outdoors. I was listening to NPR the other day. They were talking about Denver's bid for the new Amazon Center. And Governor Hickenlooper was talking about the lifestyle, and what brings people here, what brings millennials here, is a work-life balance and the ability to be close to nature. And Denver has that for sure, but Fort Collins and Larimer County have really, really planned for that and continue to make that a special part of living here, and that's going to continue on into the future. So I'm excited about this beautiful city, and so not only do I get to plan for recreation, the accessibility is right out our back door, and it's awesome.
Absolutely. So speaking of work-life balance, how do you recreate?
How do I recreate? Well, I am passionate about horses. I ride competitively, and so that's something I love to do. I have a couple dogs. I have 2 young children that we take out camping any chance we can get. I am constantly kicking my kids out the door to play in the backyard, and we visit natural areas and parks. We go running, biking. I don't spend much time inside. I love to be outside as much as possible.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate you joining us today. We're excited to have you here. I'm going to have you stay up here while Ashley brings our next guest up to join us.
Yeah,
So thank you.
absolutely. So thank you, Sue, so much for that background into your life. And next up, we have Brendan Reed, crew chief for Parks. Everybody give him a round of applause now.
Hey, welcome aboard. Thank you. So I have to say, when we started chatting about having you join us today, I was really excited. And I know you and I talked a couple weeks ago about procuring some chairs here to set up for an event. And I remember thinking, man, this guy's got the awesomest name, Brendan. Because that's my son's name as well. So we must have secretly named our son after you. So welcome to the show. Thanks for joining us today. I can tell you that the work you do here is awesome, and I can't wait for you to get a chance to tell our community more about what it is. I know my family loves going to Old Town, loves experiencing everything. So with that, tell us a little bit more about yourself, what your role here is, and then how long you've been here.
So I'm a Parks crew chief. So I'm in charge of all the operations downtown that Parks takes care of. That's the daily cleaning and maintenance of the streetscapes, all the public spaces. That's the plantings, the maintenance that goes into those, the design each year, the water features, both interactive and decorative. A lot of work goes into those. Ours run quite long, a little bit longer than swimming pools often operate. So I've been with the city for about 8.5 years. I started as an hourly employee back in 2009. Did that for about 2 years, taking care of parks, also doing playground safety inspections and repair. Shortly after that, I became a Parks and Ground technician. So took care of some different parks around town, and I spent most of my time actually downtown prior as a technician for the horticulture program.
Oh,
So I had a lot of time down here, and then 2 years ago, I became a crew chief of Parks.
awesome. So I have to tell you something funny about the Old Town Square water features. So my daughter is 8 years old, and there was a concert going on. Or I shouldn't even say it wasn't a full concert at that point. It was a couple people playing some music up on the stage, and she's walking around it, and she's upset that the one that she's standing by is not turning on, and she feels it's by a sensor. So she sticks her head over the outlet. And next thing you know, it shifts to where she's at and just bam, gets her right in the face. And all you hear is a big scream as she goes. But it was a lot of fun. I was laughing hysterically. So just know that all the kids have a lot of fun down there with that. Tell us a little bit about the decorations and lighting currently up in Old Town during the month of October.
So all of our lighting is getting installed currently. Our contractor has been working on that since the end of September. It's actually September 24th that night.
Wow.
Is when they began. It gives them a little over 5 weeks to get everything installed for the lighting ceremony at the beginning of November. That's worst case scenario. That's of course if we're getting a lot of snow or what we haven't gotten the past few years so much of.
Sure.
So they're actually just about to finish up. They should be finishing up this week. Gives them time to do some checks, make sure everything's working well for the ceremony. The other decorations, we haven't started on them yet, but it'll be shortly after the lighting ceremony before Thanksgiving. In the past, you've probably seen a lot of flower planters in Old Town Square and a couple of the alleys. We had evergreen boughs. So that's basically cuttings from pine and evergreen trees.
Okay.
We're trying something a little bit different this year. Should be a little bit more visually pleasing as well as much more sustainable. We're going to be taking some winter hardy shrubs and planting those, which we will in turn be able to use in landscaping plantings next year.
Oh, wow.
So everything that should survive will get reused for that purpose. But you see, it's all like natural kind of look to it. So pine cones, dogwood cuttings, and then the large shrubs that we have in there.
That's really neat. So with that, you actually started touching base on it a little bit about the process that's involved. So as we're getting ready for the holiday lights in November, what from start to finish of when we start the lights versus when they stop, and then kind of walk us through what kind of lights are used. What do you guys go through with that?
So all of our lights are LED. They're warm white LEDs.
Okay.
So we don't use different color variations. So everything has a uniform look. LED lights, though we have trunk wraps in all the median trees. So as you drive down College Avenue or some of like the side streets on Mountain Avenue, you'll see trunk wraps, and then all of the rest of the trees downtown have the canopy lighting.
Okay.
And we do have specs for the spacing on all those lights and how they're set up. Because I know if you go to different communities around, northern Colorado, you can actually sometimes follow the different strands going up. Or ours are spaced enough to where it's much more difficult to do so. So it looks like the tree is growing lights.
Yeah, I've tried to find where the end is.
It's very difficult.
Yeah, I couldn't find it. So a little bit that I want to try to get a better understanding of is sometimes when you see stuff up on the buildings or you see some of the different colored lights, where are those coming from?
Those are usually the private businesses or private owners of whichever property that is.
Okay.
So ours are all the uniform look, all the warm white LEDs. And I guess touching back on the process for that start to finish, like I said, at end of September, our contractors begin installing those. Takes about 5 weeks. Worst case scenario. The holiday lighting ceremony is beginning of November. And we get everything up and running then. We do some test runs a couple nights beforehand, make sure everything's looking good. If they need to add some lights, we have them add additional lights if there's not enough in certain canopies. And then we get a team together that makes sure all the lights turn on in unison for the lighting ceremony. Then everything after that is mostly timers and photocells that keep it running. And then
Okay.
we keep an eye on anything that throughout the season, if, vehicles snag some of the limbs or whatever may happen from wind, snowstorms and such.
So curiosity question, and I don't know if we have this yet, but is there an official lighting date yet released?
Yes, Friday, November 3rd
Okay.
is the lighting ceremony. That'll be in Oak Street Plaza. The ceremony begins at 5:30,
Okay.
and the lights are expected to be on right around 6:30 for the countdown.
Okay. Fantastic. So make sure everyone gets that on their calendars to be downtown for this. So kind of speaking a little bit more down the lines of some flowers down there, can you tell us a little bit more about the flower plantings that are in Old Town?
Sure. That is actually one of the longer processes we have. A lot goes into those, not just the maintenance of them. But right around this time of year, we've actually been designing next year's flower designs.
Okay.
So even before the
Wow.
ones for this year, go out the door with all the frost,
Uh-huh.
we've actually started designing next year's. Usually around just after Thanksgiving is we have the final designs picked out and we have them submitted. So the nursery that grows all of our flowers has our order in, and so they know what we're getting. And then come springtime, we get all the prepping going for that, and we get those installed. And it's quite a process for installing those. It takes several weeks. We do start May 1st.
Oh, wow.
Which I know is kind of a risky thing, but it's something we do for preparation for CSU graduation. So we have just select areas. It's mostly Old Town Square and a couple areas along College Avenue that get planted before CSU graduation. And then, of course, everyone recommends you start planting annuals after Mother's Day. So that's when we really kick things off and get the rest of all the alleyways, the pots on the corners, and all those planted.
Okay.
So, and the process is kind of lengthy. We do tours of different areas, mostly the CSU trial gardens. They get a lot of the new plants in, the new varieties and species in each year. So we take a look at those to try to help, gauge how we want to do next year's designs, anything new we want to try, anything that we didn't really think was that appealing this first year, and we want to change it up for next year.
Awesome. So along those same lines, can you kind of touch base on non-holiday time? What are you and the crew doing during the non-holiday time? Obviously, you just went over a bunch of it, but what other kind of duties? What's a typical week look like?
So I have a total crew of about 18 employees.
Oh, wow.
About half of them are doing all the cleaning and maintenance. So that's on Old Town Square, our enhanced alleys, College Avenue, Mountain Avenue, a little bit on Oak Street, some of the surrounding areas, Walnut and Linden. So we maintain all that area. So any of the nighttime activities, we make it look like it never happened. So that's the first part of every morning. So that's 7
Okay.
days a week. That's year round. Even holidays, we're coming and making sure everything's looking clean. We have the decorative and interactive water features that we take care of. All of the interactive water features, quite a bit goes into those as well. We have to treat them like a swimming pool because kids are getting inside of them. So we have to make sure the pH remains balanced. We have to make sure the disinfectant remains at the proper levels. We do multiple tests per day, adjust chemical levels accordingly. And our water features downtown run quite a long period of time. Most swimming pools are Memorial Day to Labor Day. Our water features downtown run a bit longer. Oak Street Plaza runs for about 5 months,
Okay.
beginning of May to beginning of October. And Old Town Square even goes a little bit beyond that, closer to about 6 months of operation.
Wow.
So, and then of course we have the flower plantings. A lot goes into that. Some of our planters that are movable, they don't have irrigation to them, so we do hand water those, fertilize them, do any necessary deadheading, pruning that is needed on those. We have crews that go around and just do some of the extra stuff. We make sure there's no stickers, graffiti, that sort of stuff accumulating downtown. So a lot goes into it.
Definitely. So I have to ask, to make it look like nobody was down there, especially after a concert, what time does the crew have to come in? Like 3 in the morning?
Pretty close. On Mondays, the crew comes in at 4 a.m.
Oh, wow.
and that's to get a good
I thought
start
I got
on
up
things.
early.
Yeah. That's to get a good start on everything. We do work pretty well hand in hand with the streets department and their street sweeping. So they come through around that same time on Mondays. We want to make sure it's a joint effort, trying to make sure everything's clean, makes it go a little bit quicker. Most other days of the week, it's a 5 a.m. start.
Okay.
So long days.
Very good. Well, I'll tell you, we all appreciate what your crew does down there because it's a beautiful area.
Thank you.
I mean, I know all of us here go down there. My family loves it. All of our friends always want to go there when they come into town. So it is the place to go. So we appreciate all the work you do. I do have one final question, though.
Sure.
Based that we're a recreation show, I have to ask you, how do you recreate?
Wow.
Uh-oh, caught him off guard.
It's really when I'm not working, which isn't that often. But anyways, I actually live in Wellington. Just moved up there about 2 years ago. So they have some nice parks and areas around there. I still come back into Fort Collins, enjoy the parks. Sometimes just getting out walking around downtown. Even kind of soft recreating. Most of our work downtown doesn't work very well to drive around in a truck.
Right.
It's so busy down there. Of course, everyone knows what parking is like down there. So a lot of our tasks, we walk to our locations. Our shop is right by there. So, yeah, that's the majority of it. I do participate in some like other activities, paintballing,
very
recreational shooting. So,
Awesome.
Yeah.
Sounds like a lot of fun.
yeah.
So again, appreciate you being here. Thanks for telling us all about your work and what you do, and we appreciate your contributions to the city, you and the crew making everything look great down there.
Thank you.
So with that, Ashley, I'll pass it back to you to close us out.
Awesome. Thank you, Brendan, so much. Everyone give him a round of applause. Well, everyone, that's a wrap on our 1-year anniversary of Rec on Record. We'd like to thank everyone who has tuned in, showed up, or streamed the show. It's been a fun and very informative year, and now we're on to something new and exciting. This will be our last episode of Rec on Record, and we are thrilled to bring you a new quarterly forum with our endeavor of bringing seniors information and getting feedback. We will reveal our new plans at the annual membership meeting and breakfast on Thursday, January 25th at 9 a.m. So make sure to note that date, RSVP, and then you'll learn more. On that note, thanks again to all the staff, all the guests, and FCTV for making Rec on Record an amazing experience. And until January, have a great year.